A woman who spent time with Lori Vallow Daybell in the Madison County Jail is speaking out about how the mother was acting days after she was taken into custody here in eastern Idaho. Welcome back, Lori. Where are your kids? Daybell arrived in REXBURG on March 5th from Hawaii. She didn't have much to say to me then, but when she was booked into the Madison County Jail, she opened up to a woman who was in the same jail pod. Now, this woman has asked EastIdahoNews.com not to use her name for safety reasons, so we are calling her Melissa Cook. Jail officials confirm that the two were in a segregated pod from March 5th through the 8th, and they were the only two women in there. Cook says she made it a point not to ask Daybell about Joshua J.J. Vallow or Colby Ryan, her children who had been missing since September. Nobody knew where they were at the time, but Cook did not want to bring them up because she wanted to build a relationship of trust with Daybell. Cook says Daybell was always upbeat and friendly. She never showed any sign of heartbreak, never cried, did not appear to be disappointed, and was glad that she was no longer incarcerated in Hawaii because she said that there were roaches in the facility in Hawaii and that the conditions were, quote, awful. Now, the day after Daybell was booked in REXBURG, she was scheduled for her initial court appearance in Madison County. You might remember media outlets from across the country were huddled outside and hundreds of people showed up. Daybell complained to Cook about her dry skin. She was worried about how she would look during the court proceedings, so Cook gave her some lotion, deodorant, and makeup she had purchased from the commissary. Now, many inmates also use Jolly Rancher candies and colored pencils for lipstick or eyeshadow. Cook says Daybell knew that this was a big deal and she was actually looking forward to it. When she returned to her jail cell hours later, she wanted Cook to watch the news with her. Actually, when it came on, she said, "Here it comes. Here's my story. Turn it up. Let's see what they say about me now." Now, at that point, the big issue was whether Daybell was going to be able to post $1 million bail. Cook says she was coming and going from her jail cell to meet with her attorneys constantly. And one time, Cook said, "Are you going to be able to post it today?" And Daybell responded by taking her hand from her head, rubbing it down her body, and saying, "We'll see if all of this is worth $1 million." When Daybell was not with her attorneys, Cook says she was likely talking on the phone or having video chats with her son Colby or new husband Chad. Cook recalls her telling Colby to read the book of Job and saying that he would understand the challenges she was going through. Daybell said she was being tested like Job. At one point, she said, "Colby, just listen to me. Everyone wants to know what's going on, but it's none of their business. God doesn't judge me, and they shouldn't judge me. The prophet says to stay off social media, so don't go on there." Cook describes Daybell's calls with Chad, her husband, as, quote, nauseating. She said that Lori Daybell wanted attention and affection and reassurance from her husband that he loved her, and she always made sure that she looked good if they were communicating. Daybell never spoke to Cook about religion, but spent her free time reading scriptures and praying. And all along, Cook believed that her children really were alive. She said that she thought Chad and Lori had taken them to a polygamy compound while she and Chad decided to start a new life together in Hawaii. Well, after 4 days, deputies came and took Cook from the segregated portion of the jail to another part of the facility so that Daybell could be in isolation. Later, Cook went to another facility, and when she was released last month, she actually texted Lori Daybell to see how she was doing, and Daybell responded. Daybell said, "How are you doing? I've been praying for you. I'd love to visit with you. I'll schedule you in later today. Hopefully that will work." Well, that meeting never happened. Daybell, of course, remains in jail awaiting her arraignment, which will be on Thursday, where she will plead not guilty or guilty to the charges. As for Cook, she says she'll always remember something that Daybell repeatedly said in jail, and that was, everything has a purpose. God has a plan for everyone. His plan will be accomplished. You can read more about what Cook witnessed while she was in the Madison County Jail with Daybell. We have the full story at EastIdahoNews.com. I'm Nate Eaton reporting.